It's 8 p.m. and these are our top stories in 90 seconds.
Our streets are dangerous by design.
A dangerous design is proving deadly for cyclists across the metro.
We know that our lives are on the line, so we ride abundantly, cautiously.
And advocates are demanding action for a shared road.
We need to take serious steps to encourage people and support people who are choosing to use modes other than driving.
A new recommendation for pregnant women to get vaccinated.
Getting protected from COVID-19 through a vaccine is really one of the most effective things that you can do.
CDOT has worked fast to get I-70 partially reopened through Glenwood Canyon this weekend.
We are in many ways fortunate that the structural damage wasn't worse. There could easily have been additional holes, larger gaps.
But that doesn't mean it'll be just smooth sailing from here.
Good news is mud's cleared. Good news is the road is intact in most places. Bad news is there are some structural damage in a few areas.
Plus, 2 officers previously fired for beating a man are about to be paid more than $1 million in back pay. Good Wednesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. Dangerous by design. That's how cycling advocates describe roads across the metro. A new study shows since 1975, cyclist deaths have tripled nationwide. In the metro, those numbers have fluctuated, but advocates say even one death is too many. Denver7's GUAJARDO joins us live near Denver's Wash Park. Addie, we have the tools to keep roads safe, but it's just not happening in some areas.
Jessica, it definitely is. And as a cyclist myself, I've ridden down Downing Street next to Washington Park countless times. And it can be scary, and that's because there's cars parked on both sides of the road. There is no bike lane, so you have to watch out for doors opening, cars on the street. You also have to watch out for pedestrians coming across the street, and potholes in uneven parts of the road. And although Colorado law requires drivers to give cyclists a 3-foot buffer, they often drive by a lot closer. Over the years, cycling kicked into gear, and the pandemic peddled a boom in the bike world. And with more wheels on the pavement, sharing the road is more vital than ever.
I've been run into, my wife has been run into, my son-in-law had a concussion from somebody running into him.
Tom Kalarkey started riding his bike in 1973. He keeps his head on a swivel.
I have to look out for cars opening their doors. I have to look out for cars that aren't looking.
A study by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration found that pedal cyclist fatalities in urban areas increased by 49% between 2010 and 2019. So we took a closer look here in Denver. Between 2013 and 2021, 21 cyclists died in a crash, one this year. 273 were seriously injured during the same time frame. Of those, 12 in 2021. Statistics, cyclists say, are often underreported.
The tone of vehicular traffic on the roads has become very concerning. Drivers seem more aggressive.
Megan Hopman is an attorney for cyclists and bikes herself. She was hit in 2019.
I was badly concussed, unfortunately, which really resulted in some vision issues, and then I suffered a torn ligament in my left knee.
She says most of her cases are distracted drivers or people speeding.
Our streets are dangerous by design. Our streets were primarily designed to move as many cars as fast as possible.
Jill Local3, the executive director of Denver Streets Partnership, fights for people-friendly streets.
Oftentimes there's no bike lane at all.
It's a problem the city's aware of. It's why Denver's Vision Zero program is focused on making streets safer by carving out spaces for bike lanes and creating bigger gaps between cars and cyclists.
They built 40 miles of new bike lanes, which is more than they have in any previous year. But we've got 5,000 miles of streets in the city of Denver.
She says even one death is too many.
Because we know how to prevent traffic fatalities. We know how to design our streets to be safe.
Cyclists say with climate change at the top of mind, it's time to switch gears and make bike safety a priority.
We need more bike paths. We need to slow down the traffic in Denver. We need fewer cars on the street, more public transportation.
Now, Hopman, that cyclist and attorney, worked on a law last year that was passed that requires drivers to yield to any cyclist in a bike lane. Now, the injuries these cyclists sustain can range anywhere from a bump or a scrape all the way to something that will alter their lives, like a brain injury.
Reporting live in Denver, Addie GUAJARDO, Denver7 on Local 3.
Addie, thank you. In May, the Denver Streets Partnership gave the city of Denver a B- in its annual report card. The Denver Streets Partnership believes the current street system is still a dangerous design and needs work. They say reducing the speed limits on many streets to 20 miles per hour will go a long way to saving cyclists' lives. Speeding on the highway is also a concern for police in the metro.
The most important thing that you have to remember is the higher the speed, the more that increases the severity of accidents and also the severity of injuries and possibly even death.
Today, officers from Denver, Arvada, Greenwood Village, and Colorado State Patrol were out on patrol, stopping speeders and educating them on the dangers of driving too fast. According to Denver police, as of August 7th, there have been 37 traffic-related deaths in the city this year. 3 people have died and 12 people have tested positive in a coronavirus outbreak that's loosely connected to a Durango car dealership. Now, we say loosely because according to the dealership, only 3 of those 12 worked inside the dealership. The 3 people who died were either working as contractors or were family members of the contractors. There were 1,200 new COVID cases added in our state today. The state says 561 people are in the hospital with suspected or confirmed cases of coronavirus tonight. More beds are in use this evening than at any point in June or July. The CDC is now recommending pregnant women get vaccinated against COVID-19. Simply put, health officials are not seeing vaccine safety concerns regarding pregnancy. On the contrary, the CDC says there are safety concerns for pregnant women who don't get vaccinated. A woman in Utah was pregnant but didn't get the vaccine. She got infected with the Delta variant and is now on a ventilator after her baby was delivered by C-section.
Her baby shower was actually scheduled for Saturday. But instead of having a baby shower, she got a ventilator.
CDC also denied claims that vaccines can cause fertility issues, saying there is no data to support that. I-70 in Glenwood Canyon will partially reopen by Saturday. The highway has been closed since late July when mudslides caused extreme damage to the roadway. The welcome news from CDOT came today as Governor Polis got an up-close look at the damage.
We are in many ways fortunate that the structural damage wasn't worse. There could easily have been additional holes, larger gaps that would have required additional days and weeks to repair.
CDOT says all lanes on I-70 will reopen by Saturday afternoon, with the exception of a 3/4-mile stretch near Blue Gulch, which will have a single lane moving in each direction. Governor Polis says to expect short-term closures in the weeks ahead. Representative Lauren Boebert also visited the area today. She represents the area impacted. She said she will continue to push for long-term resiliency of the highway. We have an in-depth insight from a Colorado State University professor right now on Denver7 Plus for your streaming device. All new at 8, Adams County deputies say they shot a person who flashed a gun at them after trying to steal a car. This happened near 70th and Pecos. Deputies say the suspect was wanted on domestic violence and kidnapping charges. No word on that person's injuries. 2 fired Denver police officers will be paid more than $1 million after a settlement with the city. In 2009, Devin Sparks and Randy Murr threw Michael D. Herrera to the ground and hit him with a club. The officers wrote in their report that De Herrera swung at them. Surveillance footage shows he did not. The city realized 2 years later that the pair had lied and fired them. An appeals court later decided Denver did not have the authority, and the state Supreme Court declined to hear the case. The settlement amounts to years of back pay. Miss Wheelchair Colorado is asking for your help tonight. She is part of a national organization working to empower and inspire people who are in wheelchairs. Chris Lane of Aurora is often out speaking to groups of all ages, sharing her message of hope. She was paralyzed from the waist down after a hiking accident at Clear Creek Canyon 4.5 years ago. She told Ariane Trujillo her platform is get up, get going, and get rolling.
Get rolling, get moving in some form or fashion. Get biking, there's hand cycles. Get hiking, there's adaptive for hiking. Get doing anything. You can dance in a wheelchair. You can do anything, swim. It's just, a lot of it is about your attitude. And I will tell you that attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference.
She is so positive. Chris Lane is in the running to be named Miss Wheelchair America. So if you would like to vote for her, it'll cost you $1 at mwapeopleschoice.com. The deadline is tomorrow at 4 p.m.
We think that really breaking bread together eliminates the stigma of who school meals are for.
That is made easier when kids are given free access to lunch. But is that something that should remain in schools?
We would hope for everyone having healthy food is as important as books for kids.
That poor air quality continues. I'll let you know if there's any hope for some clearer skies.
Plus, a Colorado man is making sure the firefighters who sacrificed everything to fight fires in the West are taken care of themselves.
That's how we view those guys. They're heroes.